mandate to oversee a transition. And there has to be a transition because the millennial of today and tomorrow is not prepared for leadership. So we want to do that role of preparing the next generation. How do we want to do that? Primarily, first of all, as a movement, we are going to have a leadership and governance academy. Now, governance academy will be one of the three pillars that we have. And this pillar will basically be to give a route, an avenue for young people to learn how to apply servant leadership of integrity. It will also be an opportunity for those who have gone before you, before the millennials, to give what they have experienced. With age comes wisdom, with age comes experience. And this experience needs to be tapped into by the generations that are following. So this provides a platform for millennials to actually learn and to actually be coached and mentored into leadership positions. Another pillar that we have is the pillar of electoral operations. And I won't dwell too much on this because we don't really want to talk about the electoral situation at this stage. We want to address the immediate needs of the millennials, and that is to prepare them for leadership. The third pillar is the communication pillar. And we do realize and appreciate that to engage with the millennials of today, you need to be digital. And for that reason, it will not be the same conservative way that you find other political outfits communicating. We need to communicate in a medium that we will find the millennial community of Kenya. And that means that the pillar of communication is actually going to be a very important pillar. As you can see, this is one of the mediums that we have chosen to communicate. But for today, we had said we want to discuss leadership as a birthright. Our movement is going to anchor its agenda on 5 birthrights that we feel that the Kenyan population has given away, has handed over, and must reclaim. But at this point, I'd like to introduce Nelson Asira to just give you guys an overview of the leadership agenda that we have. Nelson.
Thank you, William, for expounding so much on the movement. Very fast, a quick question to all of us, Beatty, Brandon, Jaimota, and I have Kangerwe. What comes to your mind when you hear that leadership is a birthright? I know you'll not be able to answer right now, but then for me, I think what comes to my mind is it is something you are meant to have. A birthright is something you're meant to have. But then if leadership is your birthright, are you really a person of integrity and has a vision to lead people? Because everyone else will be going out there, then yeah, it's my birthright. But then what are the challenges, or what is the threat to all of us claiming that leadership is our birthright? So a few things that I would want us to note as we move along. Leadership is our birthright, tick, that's true. But we want to look at, are you in the position? Are you ready? Have you been trained, or are you ready to pick up? Are you ready to exercise leadership with integrity and in a vision-oriented manner? So if your answer is yes, then I think it is true for you and I that leadership is our birthright. Among other birthrights, leadership comes at the forefront, because if we don't get it ready, or we get it the right way with our leaders, then we miss out, because it is us, the millennials, that Sir William is talking about. The movement actually is for millennials and by millennials. That means it is us who will be able to identify the conversations we want to bring on board. We will be the people to say, this is what we deserve as people, being led by visionary and leaders with integrity. So as we move along, the 3 pillars, as Sir Williams has mentioned, is the leadership and governance pillar, the communications pillar, and the party operations pillar. So as we continue this conversation, maybe you'll find a place that you want to connect to, or any other place that you'd want to raise concerns and share your ideas. Please feel free. Thank you, Sir Williams.
Thanks. Thanks for that, Nelson. Melody, perhaps you can share your thoughts.
Okay. Thank you, William. So I hope I'm loud enough for everyone because I have a flu. So today I'm just going to talk about the choices we make and the consequences that they have therein as young people. It's important to note that as young people, we are the majority of the population that exists, and especially the voting population. However, it's very important for all of us to understand that the role we play will affect us in future. So for a lot of millennials, as William has mentioned, the 1980 to 2000 is that we have the mentality of if it doesn't affect me, then it's none of my business. But we don't know that unknowingly, a lot of choices that are made by government affect us either directly or indirectly. So let me talk about COVID, for example. COVID may not affect you in terms of getting the disease itself. It will affect you in terms of the policies that are in place by government in times of crisis, the health facilities, governance, and every decision that is supposed to be made by the political and governance parties. This is something that affects you directly, even if you don't want to get involved in it. So for me, it's just talking about guarding your rights and knowing that you protect your destiny. It is important for you to vote in people that are in control of your destiny and even to participate and be involved. So while I was doing research for this and I was looking at the US and what exactly young people in the US think of, I came to realize that young people are the ones who are hit hardest when it comes to things like recession and when it comes to things like pandemics, because we contribute directly to the economy and the economy affects us directly. So we affect the future. So the information and the participation that you undertake right now will definitely affect you. So my plea to you is just to find a way in which you can, even if you're not interested in politics, your contribution towards ensuring that the environment and your birthright, like Nelson has mentioned, is given to the right people. And knowing that if you do not participate in it, you will be affected directly by things that you think are not affecting you, like the economy or the environment, and that your voice is very important. So even if at this stage you don't feel like participating actively in voting, it is important for you to identify people who are like holders of that light and also just ensuring that they are seen and ensuring that they're known. So this means that we are inviting you to participate in Most Kenya and also to invite other people to participate. So thank you very much, William.
Great. I hope you can still hear me. Thank you, Melody, for your comments. I think one thing that we must appreciate as Kenyans is that we are all equal. Before God, we are all equal. We are all equal citizens. But we must question the fact that some seem to be more Kenyan than others. Yet, we all have the same birthrights. And these birthrights we are about to discuss over the next coming weeks are purely things that you and I must hold dear to. Your right to free drinking water and other needs. Your right to good leadership and governance. Your right to equal opportunity and all the benefits that go with it. Your right to freedom of expression without violence. And your right to prosperity and legacy. We all want at some stage to leave legacy. Isn't that what life is about? Having children and giving the best for your children. But if you are to ask yourself today, what have I prepared? What am I leaving behind for the children that are coming behind me, have you played a role? Are you satisfied that your children have a better opportunity than you? And many times, because of the Kenya that we live in, and because of the situation that we're in, that answer will be a negative answer. But it doesn't have to be like that. You and I have a choice to make. We have a choice to decide, who are we going to vote for? Who should we cast our ballot for? How should we choose our leaders? And for my response to you is this: vote for yourself. Choose yourself as the leader. And if it's not for yourself, choose your movement, choose your party, choose the institution that will honor your interests. So why don't you consider all your birthrights and reclaim them? Those birthrights that we mentioned. In the coming weeks and even in the coming days, we are going to really dissect these birthrights so that whoever is an upwardly mobile Kenyan, whoever has the interests of Kenya at heart, can make sure that it is founded on things that you don't have to buy from the politician, you don't have to beg the government. They're things that are your rights and you have a right to claim them. So we have been speaking quite a bit, and I think that we should hear you guys out. Those of you who have joined us, the Johanneses and the Bettys, let us give you an opportunity. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, for the interest of coordination, you can just lift your hand. Yeah, I can see Betty has. Let me just unmute you. Thank you, Betty. We are all listening. Hi, Betty.
Hi.
Hi. So, just if you lift your hand, do you have any question, query, recommendation that you can give to us?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. I really appreciate to be here. It's important to get to know that I'm most Kenyan. For now, I think I'm still following up, and I really appreciate this a way forward. I'm really excited to be here, and I believe we are going far.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Betty. We appreciate your thoughts. And so I think for the people who don't have the video on, so I'm just going to unmute all so that because we can't see them, lifting their hands. Usla, Jmota, Brandon, in case you have anything for us. Johannes, I think Johannes is back. Let me unmute you. Hello, Johannes. Hello.
Yes.
So we can't see your video, and I hope you can hear us. Hello.
Jay Mota has something to say.
Okay. Okay. Jay Mota, you can take it.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here with my friend, and the conversation is interesting. We've learned something. It's our first time to be in this type of call. We appreciate that it was so engaging and very powerful.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
My name is Stella. So for the conversation that we've had, we really appreciate what you guys are doing, and it's during this critical period period that we actually learn and appreciate that we are Kenyans and we have our rights as Kenyans. And so we are looking forward to more conversations in the coming week. We actually put an alert so that we are aware of what time we actually, so that we can actually follow and see how much.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think they're frozen. Hello?
You can contribute to the conversation.
Okay. So let me just ask a quick one. Are you aware of our social media platforms? Or have you watched any of the videos we have put out in the past few days?
Actually, I got the link through Facebook, and I'm following you on social media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. Thank you very much. You
I
can
wasn't
share.
aware. He
Okay.
dragged me into it.
There's someone to share it with. You can share it with your friends and just share with your network, and also try to explain what you've understood from today. So thank you very much. Hi, Usla.
Yeah.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. We understand that your video was on and off, probably because of network. So we just hope that.
Yeah, I'm having some connection issues.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for joining our conversation. And what I wanted to ask you probably real quick is William explained the 3 pillars that exist in this organization, and that's leadership and governance, party operations, and communications. So I know we didn't get into much detail on them, but do you believe that these pillars have covered all our interests when it comes to addressing the issues we face as millennials, especially?
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
On the hi, of the 3 pillars, not of the 3, but all the pillars I think are really core to what MOST is. For now, I think they are most inclusive of what to do. Really, the pillar that is really key for me there is the leadership and governance. And I love that we're focusing on servant leadership. It is something that is not like incorporated right now in our leadership amongst our leaders. Yeah. So I think that the pillars are really inclusive, and it is what Kenya who will help in the transition, just like William has said, from what we have now to millennials leading in our country.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Usla, for your very much needed contribution. So in the interest of time, I just like to throw it back to William, but also before that, just to urge all of you to reach out to Nelson or me or William for the links of social media. Any questions you have, you can direct them to Nelson, who can just try to figure out how you can get an answer, any question, any query, any suggestion. We are very open to that. So thank you very much for your time. Let me throw it back to William.
So thanks very much, Melody, and thanks very much all of you who have contributed. I see that Brandon hasn't contributed. Brandon, do you have anything to say? Could you open up for Brandon?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that I'm happy to be invited here, and I follow you people on YouTube, and I like this idea that this leadership is our birthright, and we shouldn't be controlled by what our leaders do in parliament or in their seats, because us as the citizens, we are the people who choose the leaders. So we have to make the right decision. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Brandon. I don't know if Johannes is able to speak or if he can hear. Could we find out if Johannes, you're able to hear or speak?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, it seems.
Hello, hi. Okay, I think there's a problem there with transmission.
Okay, all right, so you can mute him. I think that we could be running out of time. I don't think that we've been given any bonuses like we were this morning. We were given a bonus, but today, this afternoon, Zoom may be a bit too congested for that. But what I would like to say, and what I would like to pose for each one of us who is considering...
We have more time.
We have more time?
Yeah.
So we've been added more time?
Yes, it was upgraded, okay. I saw it.
Great, thanks very much. So what I would like to say here is basically to pose the question, because a lot of times people have great and high expectations of political parties and of political leaders, forgetting that you are the ones who should take responsibility and accountability for placing these leaders into the positions that they are. This movement that I will repeat, and I will not cease to repeat, it is by millennials, for millennials. It is a movement that will be generated, the agendas will be driven, and the ownership of this movement will be upon the younger generation. However, a lot of times, because of this handout culture that we have in Kenya, a lot of people will be asking, what can this movement do for me? What can this movement do for me? Instead of that, you asking, what can I do for this movement? What can I do for Kenya? And I think there is a desperate need for us to transform the political culture that is upon us, such that politicians want to keep the constituents desperate and needy. It is in the interest of the politician to keep us scattered, to keep an environment of disagreement and disunity. That interests the politician. But being transformers and being reformers, we need to understand that none of us is as good as all of us. And we're going to have to come together on this common platform to drive an agenda for the people. And that agenda will basically mean that, and I'll repeat it again, you go and you vote for yourself and not for anybody else, like the politician is going to want to tell you, and like the politician likes to drive the agenda. Vote for me, vote for this, but it's time that we reclaim that identity. Now, having said that, I would like us also to internalize a few truths. That being that we are actually engaging an audience that is a digital audience, we're engaging a community of millennials that communicate online. Our communication strategies and the infrastructures that we are going to develop are primarily on the internet. They're primarily online communication, which means that even the Leadership and Governance Academy, much of that is going to be available on the website that we're developing. So you are going to be able to access resources. You're going to be able to join in as part of the think tank that contributes to the policies, to the proposals of legislature that we intend to put in place when we assume the leadership of the country. So this means that we need to encourage each other. We need to be available for each other. We need to be able to share experiences and communicate as broadly and as widely as we can. So that means that it is not what the movement can do for you, it is what you can do for the movement. Let us ask each other to contribute on the daily platform, bringing in ideas, injecting, doing the video captions, and just contributing on our media platforms, either with a bullet message or with actual live broadcasts. You can also look forward on our part to us giving you our daily briefs, us sharing with you the daily happenings that are going on, not only within our country, but more specifically amongst the youth communities. And in the beginning, I mentioned to you that I'm an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur, I appreciate that close to 70 to 80% of millennials, young Kenyans, may not have an opportunity to get formal employment. And for that reason, you need a forum and you need an opportunity. You need an environment where you can tap into your gifts, into your ability, into what you desire to do. And this needs to be at the pinnacle of the agenda, to take consideration that we are all and that not everybody is geared towards corporate employment. So just to wrap up, I would like to say that these three pillars that I've mentioned to you, the first one being the Leadership and Governance Academy, the second one being the electoral operations, and the third one being the communication pillars. Of these three, the one that is going to be very visible and very active right now is that of the Leadership and Governance Academy. Because, like I said, it's going to be mostly online, which means that you'll be able to key into go onto our website and be able to engage with the material that is there. It is also going to be a platform where you can engage with mentors as you become a mentee, where you can also contribute in some of the conversations that will go around how to develop modules and packages that suit the needs of the millennial generation today. Because we have time and because there's an opportunity to hear more from each one of you, let me leave it there for now and invite those who haven't spoken to say a word or two. And if you have something more to contribute, like Ursula, please, we have an opportunity because we've been added time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, William. We have been joined by Simon and Frank. How are you, Simon? I'm not sure if you can hear me. Yeah, we're doing fine. Frank, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
Perfect. So we have just spoken about, just to give a brief overview, we have given an overview of what MOST is all about. We have talked about the three pillars that guide us, which is leadership, communication, and leadership, governance, and communication. And we have also tried to get the views of the rest when it comes to what we are doing and just exactly what the conversation is around leadership being your birthright and you not giving your birthright to just anyone, just holding it and going forward with just who you elect as leaders, and what they stand for. So we have gotten a few of the views from the rest of the team, And I'm not sure if you've seen us or seen anything that we're doing on social media that has given you a brief overview, and whether you have anything else to ask, say, or recommend. Yeah, karibu. So I'll start with Simon, just in case you have anything for us.
Well, just to appreciate William and appreciate that he's taken a step of faith, and I've joined in to stand with him and just to tell him, go for it. I'm a spiritual leader, I'm a pastor, and I know from the spiritual end, we've been praying that God may raise a leader in our country who is going to make a difference, especially among the young people who are the majority here in Kenya and across Africa. So I'm happy to be a part of this forum.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Simon. We appreciate that, to have you here. So for Frank, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So do you have anything to tell us for us?
So what I can say is that Sir William, what he has done, it's a great movement. I think we are with this, and as millennials, we are headed far. And I give him kudos for that.
Okay. Thank you very much for the encouragement. Okay. So lastly, Johannes, I'm not sure if this is Pastor Johannes or Johannes, if you can hear us right now, because I remember the last time you couldn't. Hello? Okay, so I think it's just still the same issue. So in case William, you have anything to add, or Nelson?
Sure, I do. I think I have enjoyed the conversation to this point. I have seen Johannes say he has very bad network, so he's not able to communicate, but at least he joined us for the meeting.
Okay.
Though he can hear us.
Okay.
I just want to ask all of us this question. For any movement, there is always a part you can play, right? You join a movement and you ask yourself, what can I do? I think I'm echoing what Sir William was saying. You don't join a movement and you're like, what is this movement doing for me? You're like, what can I do in this movement, right? So I want you to ask that question to yourself, because as we do this first online conversation, we will have more of this, and we really want you to get involved. You've seen us do a lot of broadcasts that has been done by different people, different millennials across this country, and we want you to get involved. What are some of the social transformation agendas that you are experiencing at your places, or in your various homes, your various places of work, your various counties? What are the things that are happening? A story you'd want to share, a conversation you'd want to bring on board. If you've been very keen, you've seen the kind of videos we do on our YouTube channel, and it's videos done by individual millennials. So I really want to hear from you. I want to hear from Brandon. I want to hear from Betty, Yusla, Simon, Johannes, and Ogonkwa. I would really want to hear from you. How do you want to contribute to this online conversation? 90% of all human beings are online right now. How do we advance this agenda? That's a question for you. I know you have an answer. Thank you.
Okay, do you raise your hand, or what do you do, Melody? Do we raise our hands, or what do we do if we want to contribute? Hi, Melody, you've lost audio.
Okay, sorry. Yes, you can raise your hand. Usla's already done the same. So while she's speaking, if you have a thought, just raise your hand as we prepare to close up on the meeting.
All right. I had a contribution earlier before Asira asked a question. And I was just sharing with someone earlier that when I heard of Kenyan, it arose in me the need to see that I can also be a leader myself and not just see others as potential leaders, excluding myself from that bracket. So what I would say that us millennials, like it's been echoed here, we are all potential leaders, and it would need sharpening and honing for all that. But see yourself as a leader. See yourself as that change that you want to see in your constituency or in whatever role that you've seen. Really, I think that's what I've been telling myself, that yes, you can also be the leader. And so what kind of a leader would you want to be? And I'm grateful for this platform. I didn't get Nelson's question very well, but in terms of what did he really ask?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Nelson, please go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to clarify. I just asked a simple question. Every time we come together for a common cause, in this case, social transformation and good leadership for our country, we join movements and we become part of them. So when you join, what are you bringing on board? I really wanted to be a rhetorical question, but then because you have time and you're able to answer, there's no problem. You can go ahead.
All right. So I think for me, what I will bring on board as a person is just contribute heavily on the social media accounts. I may not be there to feel like, I'll contribute at the background. You will see me and hear me. And I'm also really buying the first pillar, the leadership and governance. And I would love, and just clarify on the same, William, is this an academy that will be like physical in future? I know for now you said it will be online, and so I think I would be most involved in that as well. I'd love to be a mentor and all that.
Yeah, thanks very much, Isla. To clarify that, yes, it will be a physical entity. We are talking about online engagement because of the circumstances that we find ourselves today. But this is a unique feature of this movement, that it's not about we individuals. It's about really how we can develop the leaders of tomorrow, how we can institutionalize personal development, not only for private organizations, but institutionalize it in government. So for instance, one of the ideas is to make sure public servants are on a performance development program. And every 3 years, we'll make sure that public servants either move up or laterally. But one of the important things is that every public servant that is a leader has a Timothy behind them, has somebody that they have to develop into the positions that they hold. So this requires that we institutionalize the whole culture of succession planning into government. Because once you have this kind of system in government, people will know that it is a responsibility to transfer skills, and it is a working that has to be done for anybody in that leadership position. So when we talk about the leadership, when we talk about the LGA, the Leadership and Governance Academy of the movement, we are basically developing something that we will transfer into government when we assume government. So in the interim, we want to do it in a way that we can reach our audiences, to give them of what it means to be developed into servant leadership. the kind of material, the kind of resources that young people need to engage with to have a change in character, to have a change in priorities, to have a basic a professional attitude towards team leadership and developing skills. So yes, this aspect of the movement is a very integral part of it because it separates us and it gives the Kenya public a clear, transparent message that it's not about us, it's about them. I hope that helps.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
yes, indeed it does. Thank you.
Thank you. And also to pick up on something that Ursula, you had mentioned about participation, for sure, if you know of any young people who are interested in such an agenda, if you know of any young people who really want to drive politics and are interested in it, we also have that opportunity to engage them and also just feel their views on the same. So yeah, thank you. I'll probably...
Let me just add quickly. Sorry, go ahead, Melody, before I add.
No, it was different, so you can just add.
I can go ahead?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to add here that we should keep very much in mind that leadership starts at home. The character and culture of leadership that we bring into our home is the same one that we'll portray out there. So you cannot be somebody who is violent, who is an assaulter, somebody who is basically a discriminator in your home and expects to go out there and wear a different coat. So it is the integrity of you, who you are as a person, that we need to work on in order to make sure that moving ahead, when we decide as a movement who is going to represent us, who are these young people who we think we need to zero in on and lead them into those positions of leadership, it is something that needs to start at home. It needs to start with you as a person, yeah? So much as I keep on saying, it is not what the movement can do for you, but what you can do for the movement in the coming days will actually help those who get involved in promoting the agenda. We will have, as part of the communication pillar, we will be developing promotional merchandise material that you can already place onto your laptops, keychains, wristbands, and all of this will be anchored on our party symbol and our party slogan. Now, our party symbol is what you see behind me here. And if you look very carefully at this symbol, it has its own story. It is a symbol of somebody who is moving forward, somebody, male or female, who is upwardly mobile, somebody who is taking life seriously. It has also a trail, which means that this person who is running is leaving behind something for those who are coming after them. It's not somebody who is running alone, somebody who is running with others, yeah? Now, our party slogan is, I am most Kenyan. And I think we all have to embrace this idea that in order for us to really be progressive as a nation, we need to be most Kenyan. And this are the slogans, these are the messages that we are going to embrace moving ahead. Of course, one of the big messages that we give on our platforms today is that there is life, an abundant life beyond COVID-19. And that means to say that even what we're discussing now is not an issue of, it's not a matter of today. We are looking beyond the COVID-19, and we want to bring a message of hope. We want to bring into the hearts of our audience that there is abundant life beyond COVID-19. So these are some of the messages that we're going to be carrying forward even as we move along. And I don't know if anybody has any contribution or any comments towards that.
Yeah. You can just lift your voice, your hand, or write it in the chat. But even as we wait for that, we understand Pastor Jonas doesn't have network, but he has say that he understands the fact that there's a spiritual dimension to everything, and he hopes to bring in spiritual contributions and direction as God gives grace. And we are very open to that. And like Simon had mentioned, we are happy that the Lord is raising leaders who are able to guide us according to his will. So yes, Pastor, we hope to also engage in other different forums in the same. So William,
I have some closing remarks, and then we try and leave.
That's what I
from
wanted to
everyone.
say. Yeah.
If they have a chance. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
So closing remark, a few seconds, because we're already 1 hour in, and in the interest of time, you can just tell us what you think, and we're going through everyone because we believe that your opinion matters. So yeah, and then afterwards, I will, once we are done, I'll just give a cue, and Simon, you can lead us in a word of prayer as we close on in the meeting. Yeah. Okay, so the first one on my screen is Betty. So we'll probably start with Betty to just give us remarks as we go on.
Yeah, let me say this is good, actually, and I believe a good start. And we're gonna go far. Yeah, and I believe if we continue like this, we're gonna go far. And the sky be the limit for us. If there is a breakthrough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Thank you. We appreciate your well wishes, Betty. So the next one is Usla. Usla, can you hear me? So meanwhile, I think she's just lost. Yeah, okay, great. So you can
Hey, Melody.
Hi, we could probably just get some closing remarks from you. Yeah, as we head to the close of the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, my closing remark is that I'm most Kenyan. That's it.
Thank you very much for using our slogan. We appreciate you, Usla. So Brandon, in case you have anything.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for inviting me. God bless you and may this succeed.
Okay, thank you very much, Brandon. We hope that you will join our social media, and also we are looking forward to the video that we have promised from you. So thank you very much. Next is Frank. Hello, Frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, movement to become cities. So let's embrace it. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. We hope that you'll be part of us too. Sorry, Pastor Johannes, I'm not sure if your mic is back up. Yeah, we've lost Pastor. But Nelson, Asira.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can't see
you.
Though.
I have actually. You can see me still. I have started my video. Can you see me now?
No.
You can't see me?
No.
Okay, so let me just talk. If you can't see me, I think it's just coming up because my video was stopped.
Okay.
Maybe on your end you can allow my video on.
No, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
On my side, it's also on. Maybe it's picking up pole.
Okay.
But allow me just to say, Thank you for creating time to be among the firsts. Do you know how important it is to be among the firsts to actually show up for a webinar for such a movement? So actually, I'm appreciative of the fact that you created time to come, and I have seen your faces. You all look amazing, and I can't fail to let you know that when we meet on the streets of the social media, advancing the agenda for social transformation, please don't run away. Say hi and say we support this initiative. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on board. Thank you, Melody.
Thank you very much, Nelson. And lastly, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. William, do you have anything to add? Sorry.
No, likewise, I'll join in with Nelson to thank everybody who took time to come on to this webinar meeting. We are going to learn a lot from it. We'll continue to engage with it. We will not lose momentum. We know that we will have a tsunami in the last days. So we are going to embrace and stand in faith and walk in faith, believing that we have an agenda that is for the people. So thanks all of you who have stepped forward and taken a step of faith. We're going to walk together and we will be victorious. Thank you.
Thank you very much, William. And before I can invite Simon, I'd like to also thank all of you for sparing your time to be with us and giving us your suggestions, your recommendations. And we hope that you will be part of us, especially on social media and the conversations that we'll drive. So thank you very much. And Simon.